Hello and welcome to Behind the Build. This is usually my members and Patreons only series, but today I'm opening it up for everyone to take a little look behind the scenes at the brand new city that I created from scratch for the official showcase of the Skyscrapers and Supply Chains content creator packs. So this is it, welcome to Fewlantic City. Now this video is going to be quite a different change in pace to what you may be used to seeing on my channel. We're just going to have a really casual look around, a chat about my thought process around building this city, what I think about the new packs, as well as a little bit of extra thoughts on bikes, having built this city as well. But if you do enjoy the video, dropping a thumbs up and a comment on it really greatly helps and is very much appreciated. So yeah, let's take a little look around. Fewlantic City was built on the Coral Riches map because everything in this city had to be unmodded, no DLCs at all, apart from the two content creator packs that I was showcasing. So I didn't have any cities sitting in the background that fit that bill. So even Fewlantic has some of the region pack assets in it, for example. And also Fewlantic doesn't really have enough open space for me to fit in this many skyscrapers, even if I built up a downtown around it. So a new city it was. And I really like the Coral Riches map because it is pretty flat. It's got this really nice open waterfront, which I just thought would work perfectly with skyscrapers and with some of the industry elements of the supply chains, which we'll come on to in a minute. But I did do some landscaping at the back, as you can see, with these mountains, which are terrible. We're not going to look at them up close and personal at all. I don't mind these two over here because I managed to get some reasonable ridges on them, but the rest are awful and leave a lot to be desired, so I'll leave that up to the map makers in future. But that was pretty much all I did to the map. I planned a lot of the networks out before I even started. I'll see if I can get a really horrible picture that I took of my phone of my computer screen when I was doing some network planning of it with highways and expansion in different areas, because I needed to have a plan so that I could build efficiently to the deadline to get this city up and running. Now it is quite large, as you can see. It's 160, almost 165,000 population, and also it's making over £1 million an hour. Yes. And I think that's supply chains. I mean, probably helped also by the amount of signature buildings we have in this, but the supply chains mod is huge. And I definitely noticed once I started placing those buildings in the city that that figure just absolutely skyrocketed. So yeah, very, very interesting concepts, which we'll talk more about in a minute. So I did actually pretty closely follow my plan. I was originally planning to expand on out this side and also out here. I mean, there's a lot of really dodgy stuff in this city, so you're going to have to bear with me. This is not my usual level of detail by any means, especially because I was trying to get used to playing completely vanilla again, which was a wild experience, I must say. I missed a lot of my mod, not going to lie. But yeah, that expansion didn't happen because I just simply ran out of time. It took a long time for me to get here. For anyone who's closely followed my channel, you know Philadelphia is already 18 plus months in the making and we're only at about 60,000 population, so I build very, very slowly and usually very, very detailed. So this was a challenge for me. But I actually had a lot of fun doing it, and I think there's some really, really nice factors to it, which I will show you around as well. But the heart of it is we've obviously got our downtown here with all of our skyscraper assets in, so I did plop every single one from the pack in here, so they're all hidden in here in various different places. We then sort of have that layers and height kind of trailing down here, but I also wanted to build up around the riverside this side as well, to give that feeling when we were kind of creating shots over here looking at that skyline that you get a little bit more busyness in front of it. Otherwise it's a very stark jump up if we didn't do that. That was kind of my thought process there, and then this sort of all filters out into slightly lower density with, this is where I started actually, this little outer lying town over here around the beach. So a bit more density built up around here. With a few of the old town assets in here as well. Again, you can see like totally unfinished. I just wanted to get, or I needed to get the semblance of that large city to get some of those more zoomed out shots into it, rather than trying to focus, which is what I did when I initially started building, on creating really immaculate areas and doing lots of neat little things. I kind of had to give that up in the end in order to actually get it built and get it done. So yeah, here we are. But this is now officially the biggest city I have built in Cities 2, full stop, which is pretty wild considering I built it in a little bit over a week. And that was a week of essentially non-stop building, I will admit. So yeah, there's some elements that I really like and there's other elements that I absolutely hate. One thing I did want to ask about actually, and I would love to get your thoughts in the comment, is I was thinking maybe it would be a fun project to come into this city with mods and kind of tidy it up, because there's a lot of dodgy things in the infrastructure as well. Like, we don't have any buses, there's no trams at all. We do have quite an extensive subway network. I don't know how easy that is to see on this screen, unfortunately, but you can see it sort of waves itself across the river out into these suburban areas all the way around the downtown here as well. And we also do have quite an extensive rail network, which you can probably see quite clearly from the orange lines here. So yeah, a few stations dotted around, lots of rail going on in the harbour area here as well, and out to a rail yard over there, and through the downtown and on this side as well. So rail and subway is my focus, but there's no buses, no trams, so would it be fun to watch a kind of redevelopment project almost of coming into this city and fixing up a few things, adding better public transportation, actually doing a bit of management on the city as well? You can see it's actually pretty good. Like, we've got some crime issues over here. There's a few lack of customer issues about. And I also have some broken power lines, which I hadn't noticed before as well. But I kind of thought maybe it would be fun to come in and detail some areas with some mods and do some fun stuff to it, like tidy up all of this zoned industry, which feels a little bit ugly. I did try and do some vanilla detailing with the surfaces, as you can see here. There's quite a lot of these sort of gravel, sandy surfaces around the industry areas to try and make it feel a little bit more industrial than having all of the open green spaces. So I did put a bit of effort into the detailing, but it's definitely not to my usual standards. So is that something you'd like to see, potentially? A redevelopment of Fewlantic City? We can come in and actually add in a proper port with the Bridges and Ports DLC, better infrastructure, better networks, more detailed areas. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on whether that would be fun to see in the comments below. Yeah, as a whole, it does function pretty well. Like, we don't really have any major traffic issues. This sometimes gets quite backed up here around the industry area and around the cargo harbour. But it's actually, it's not too bad at the moment. And a lot of our highways, other than when people are moving in, as always, and the occasional sort of rush hour backup, it's all flowing very nicely. And this leads me on to the other thing I did want to mention here as well, bikes. So I've got quite extensive bike networks across this city. So they're pretty much everywhere across the downtown here. You can see where they overlap and go here. I haven't really done dedicated bike lanes. Again, I was doing this quite quickly and the focus wasn't bikes. But there is an extensive bike network that runs all the way around the heart of the downtown, but also over this side as well. So you can see we've got major bike lanes running through some of these outer, slightly more dense suburbs over this side. But we don't have 1,000 million cyclists on the road because I actually didn't plop. I mean, we do have a few, but it's not to the extent of what I've got in Philadelphia because, yeah, I actually didn't plop tons and tons of bike parking. So as you can see, there's not a huge amount. So there's a fair bit over here, but it's not very much at all. It's very centralised around the commercial districts, whereas I put in loads more into Philadelphia and really spread it out. And reading your comments as well on the latest video, I think that may be a big driver of why we've got so many. It's sort of almost attracting more people to cycle by having that much parking availability. So yeah, we're going to go through and rectify that because yeah, you can see, I mean, our streets are clear. So maybe I did the subway network and the rail network pretty good. I don't know, but we haven't really got any traffic. What time are we on? Middle of the day as well. And there's not 1,000 million bikes clogging everything up. So yeah, it all kind of works. It's quite a good grounding for a city, actually. And I think that was helped by the pre-planning stage. Like, I really tried to plan out those networks properly first. And I actually put in all of the main highway networks before I did any building in this city, just so that I could build around them and try and save time in that respect, not having to redo things to get things flowing and yeah, just have a proper functional city. This part is particularly weird over here. So I put in some farms and I thought it was going to be a bit smaller density. And then when I got some of the skyscrapers in and realised what the city was going to look like, I realised I needed a bit more density here. So you've now got major high density with a hospital right next to farmland. So yeah, that could do with a little bit of tidying up for sure. But in a way, it's quite a nice sort of colour change in the middle of the landscape there. So yeah, we've got our outer suburbs. We also do then have the industry area over here. So we've got lots of livestock this side. We've got our forestry here with the supply chains asset. I absolutely love this. But I really, really, really want to come in with mods and get some decals on here, tidy up the surfaces and just give it a really natural look. Also integrate it into the forestry area a bit better than I have done here as well, where it's across the road. I would love, love, love to do that. I've got so much inspiration, especially when it comes to Philadelphia. We're going to get loads of these assets in there. I think they're just so fantastic. We've then got a large farming area over here with a little bit of a village vibe, a football pitch, a couple of shops, a park and a few houses. Next to our grain mill over here and all of our grain fields and vegetable fields, because over this side as well we also do have the beverages industry where it takes vegetables and makes them into drinks, and then we have our livestock asset here as well. This is so cool. This is like a proper kind of like farmers market, cattle market. I love it. Absolutely love it. I think Bad Idea has done just such a good job on these assets. Again, you know, would love to come in with some decals and really muddy this all up and give it that FewCandy vibe, shall we say. But yeah, superb, superb, superb assets. We've also got garbage over here, which is barely getting used as well. You also see as well, we're on 2027, so I played quite a long time in this city. It's not like I sort of built it and just let everyone move in one go. That wasn't the case. I really tried to kind of build it up from the ground up. But yeah, things like landfill, we're doing pretty well on. I think I do have an incinerator somewhere. Oh, right next to it. So there we go. So that's probably helping the process here. But yeah, it just goes back to, again, the city's kind of working, which is quite nice to see. We then have our ore area over here. Now this is terrible. Absolutely awful, awful, awful. And I really regretted this as well, because when I was recording, I was trying to get these nice shots of these beautiful factories. Like, look at this, look at this. So good. And it's also already got some dirty marks on it as well. I love, love, love it. So amazing. All of these structures, the detail that's gone into this. I mean, you look at all of this. It's crazy. So good. So good. These factories are awesome. But again, would love, love, love to have mods. And oh, look at this as well. Just amazing. Would love to have mods to come in and kind of integrate them better into our city, which I think was the key thing that I really struggled with in vanilla. So I did do quite a bit of sort of surface movement. You can see here I've moved the surfaces out to fit the area a little bit better, and got rid of some of that green patch there too. Same goes for this one, because there was so much green around these assets in vanilla, it's a little bit jarring. But yeah, like look at this. This is going into the next episode of Philadelphia, I will say. I'll leave it as a surprise as to where, but we're definitely integrating this because I love this asset. And I mean, yeah, all of these mining trucks going around is a little bit distracting. But yeah, this is certainly an absolutely awful ore area. So again, a bit of redevelopment around this would probably be quite nice. If we carry on looking at supply chains as well, over here, I did this little sort of out of town commercial area. Again, in vanilla, it was horrible. The zoning, the zoning here was awful. I actually at one point had an entire row of gas stations, like back in the good old days of playing vanilla CS2 for me. So little sneaky thing I did here was I did add in plop the growables and change it up a little bit of this space, but reliant on the zoning, so you can remove plop the growables and it still kind of works actually pretty well. But I could not have all of those gas stations. That was pretty painful. But anyway, going back to supply chains, this asset, absolutely stunning. So I think this is part of the strip mine office. I think it's rare earth materials, part of the metals supply chain. But the pool here around it is so good, and just the asset with all of its layers, the fact it sort of drops down in the middle here as well is just stunning. I love it. You can see it's not as tall on that side as it is back here. Really clever, super cool. This car park is amazing as well, immaculate, super modern, super clean, perfect, great asset. And then this one has got to be one of my favourites. It's like bang on that sort of outdoor country style mall that you might find all over the place. I love it. I don't have a company in here actually, which is quite interesting. I'm pretty sure I did have one when I was recording, so maybe they've moved out. But yeah, this one's part of the clothing supply chain. So you put in the clothing factory and then you can get this sporting goods store. So cool. So cool. And again, the car park, amazing. Love it. Really, really nicely designed. Fantastic asset. I was actually thinking of creating something similar to this in Philadelphia by sort of merging and fusing different assets together. So we've got that now. It makes the job 10,000 times easier. And then this, the bottle cap office. So cool. I love this asset. Just so inventive. Kind of funny as well. I like adding that sort of quirky, funny thing. Almost like the donut van. I kind of miss the donut van, dare I say it, from CS1. Those quirky little funny things that make the game unique. Yeah, love that. Love that. And then over here we come into a big height of mess, I will admit. So this is where I ended up plopping in things like the recycling centre, a prison, a road maintenance depot, things that kind of were out of the way and not super needed at the time. So it gets very, very messy over this side. But down here we do have the clothing factory. So from cotton, we get our clothing factory here. So cool. I also like the fact that it is cotton order on it as well. It's quite a nice little nod. But again, really amazing, huge, big, modern factory asset. So good. And then down here we've also got some of our oil assets as well. These are fantastic. Look at all the pipe work and the detail that's gone into these. So cool. And I mean, this is one of my favourite shots when you get some of these heavy industry in front of that big skyscraper downtown. It sort of feels quite alive like that. Love these assets. And there's multiple of them in here. And then here's where I've attempted to do some rough detailing onto the side of it. We've then also got some more of the ore factories over here as well. Again, just stunning. Such good work. Like, I really don't have a single bad thing to say about this content creator pack. And then of course there's also the added benefit of the supply chains and the mechanic with that. So putting in the commercial stores with the industry, then you get the offices and it kind of completes that loop. Really like that. Over here we've got some more of the assets. We've got the farmers market here. Brilliant asset. I kind of hoping that actually I do have recolor on now because I have added in mods. And it looks like we can recolor the roof. Brilliant. Because I was going to say the stark green on it I wasn't super keen on. I'd quite like to sort of dirty it up a little bit more. But it's a really cute asset. Loads of things going on here. I mean, you look down here at all the different stalls. Super cool. Really cool. Love that. Very clever. Then over here we also have the sports bar as well. Great asset. All these little football goals down here. This one just feels really alive and proper with the kind of the faded patches on the brick here too. The extra sort of shops tagged onto the back of it. Just, yeah, so good. Loved it. And I thought that was very appropriate to put down here. Quite near to the beach as well. And then we've got things like, yeah, the interior design studio from the forestry supply chain. That's the bakers and confectioners. That is the furniture shop, I want to say. Antique store, that's it. Again, every single one of them, such brilliant assets. I'm not too sure what's going on with the windows down here, but I quite like it. It's like they've been bricked up, like it used to be a different building with a different design and it's been fixed. Kind of cool. But again, just incredibly immaculate assets. Love each and every single one of them. They're just so good. We do have a few more scattered into the downtown as well. So we've got things like this. So this actually comes from the livestock supply chain here, which is quite an interesting building. I like this. It's got quite a unique architectural style here. It would make quite a nice centre point to something for sure. We also have this brand and lifestyle centre, which I think is from the clothing, the cotton one, which has this helipad on the top as well, which I just noticed. Multiple different stages of things going on. A skate park on the roof. Super cool. Love it. And then we also have, again, this asset. Absolutely amazing. Love the ball on it. It's got such a unique style, a unique vibe. Oh, this could just be integrated so well. I think with a bit of anarchy and better bulldozer, could really utilise some of the curves around it too, which would help make it stand out quite a bit. But yeah, love it. Not a bad thing to say. Then we come on to Skyscrapers. Again, such a great pack. So unique. You'll have seen lots of other people talking about this, but the fact that you can put the upgrades, here's one I haven't done actually, the mall on the bottom of the Great Tower of Commerce here. But yeah, the fact that a lot of the upgrades sit within the main building footprint is just so cool on these. So it means you kind of don't really have to plan around them. quite as much as you do some of the other things in terms of the modular buildings within Cities 2, which I think is just brilliant. I absolutely love this one, the Hurston Yards. So cool. Like, that gold really glints off the sunshine. So you can see, like, when the sun sets. I think if we come over here, we can get moments where it really reflects if you hit the right time, like there. It's so cool. Love that. Absolutely love that. Very, very clever. Very, very nice building. Yeah, not a bad word to say about these. They fit really nicely into the base game assets as well, which I think is the other good thing, because if they're just sort of standalone, if you're creating a massive city and they really stand out like a sore thumb, that would be a bad thing. So it definitely fits the vibe of the game, with also being just so well designed and so unique and so special at the same time. So yeah, incredible work by Revo and Bad Idea. Love all of these, and I'm sure you will have seen so many other people showing these off, so I'm not going to go around all of them. But they're just incredible. Like this one, super iconic, super unique. Definitely needs a little bit of better bulldozer on the bottom here though. Like the little rock gardens I'm not so keen on, I'll be completely honest. It feels very random. I'd love to put in more of a sort of plaza vibe, I think, around this. Maybe some seating within the bottom, kind of like little archways in there as well, rather than hedges. I don't know. That's what I'd do. That's what I'd do with a few mods. But yeah, that's the packs, and that is broadly the city. We do have a main train station over here, again, because I couldn't use any of the region packs or anything like that. I was kind of quite limited, and it made me realise actually how much those region packs and things like leisure venues, Mediterranean heritage, those content creator packs as well, add to the game when you go back to just pure base game. If you haven't picked them up, definitely worth picking up for sure. And Instant Gaming often has nice discounts if you check out my link in the description below as well, which also helps to support the channel. But yeah, definitely pick up these packs. I'm just saying we've got loads of traffic. There was me saying, oh, there's no traffic. We've got some hawky-balky stuff going on here. Wow. And it's 7 PM at night. So yeah, actually just talking about some of the networks here as well. I really wanted to get this highway flowing through the downtown. We did that in Oregon and I really liked the vibe of it. So I tried to do it again here too, with some quite tight turnings coming off. And you can see I've tried to do a bit of traffic management here already in the vanilla game by adding in a bunch of extra lanes as you come down here. Doesn't really seem to have helped at this point in time. I've probably got too many traffic lights, to be honest, going on here. But they're all sort of coming down here. But then, yeah, we've got these quite random off-ramps. Some of them are very janky. Again, trying to do this in vanilla, trying to do it quickly. I didn't do a very good job, I will fully admit, of a lot of these. But I do quite like how they just come down and just meet up to streets rather than being some great big intersection that has to be made a big deal and a big fuss of. I quite like how they sort of naturally flow off there. Really enjoyed that aspect of it. Also this one here too, where it just flows into this main street, and then you've got some side access streets coming on and off of it to either side here too. Really like that. Also liked how we took the rail underneath here and into this double-decked rail highway bridge here. Love this. Available in vanilla. Otherwise I didn't have a huge amount of choices when it came to the bridges again, with the lack of Bridges and Ports DLC, which was quite noticeable once I realised that. But then as well, we do have the rail branching off in two different directions here to go on out to the port and the industry this side, and then across the city over here, which flows through this sort of green space and into a suburban station up this side. Got quite a large asset in there. That must have levelled up. And then it flows on round here and into a station in this little suburb over this side as well. So yeah, that is Fewlantic City. If we do take a look at some of the stats, we have got the odd traffic warning here and there at the moment. But as you can see with schools, we've got no elementary schools at all. Total disaster. Total disaster there. We've also got 41% unemployment and quite a low homeless rate actually, so that's much better. But 41% unemployment is maybe a little bit of a concern, but for some reason our city is quite happy. Like, we haven't got demand for offices for starters. We've got full demand even for more housing, and we're making $1 million an hour. So to me, the unemployment doesn't really seem to affect the city whatsoever. Everyone's also pretty happy, with the exception of unemployment here. They really like the fair taxes actually. I wonder what I don't think I touched them. Oh, I dropped them down. I dropped them down because we were making so much money, that was it. And also because I was building up and I was trying to encourage the demand for each of the zoning types to come in so that I could actually build it properly. So that's why. You'll see here as well, we've also got a surplus of quite a lot of products, so not vegetables, interestingly, or oil, or stone actually. We could definitely do quite a bit more stone here. But all in all, there's not a major disaster when it comes to production. Quite a lot of things are exporting and in surplus. So all in all, like, there's definitely loads of stuff that we could fix up about this city for sure. But I feel like it's got a reasonably good base to progress from. We've got space to build out into, we've got areas we can do a whole bunch of detailing and tidying up and using plop the growbles to get specific assets in that we want to add into there. We've also got a lot of network improvements we could do, public transit improvements, education improvements, tons and tons of things. So would you like to see us do a spot of redevelopment every now and then in Fewlantic City? Let me know in the comments below. But to close off this episode, I just want to give a few thoughts of my own about the state of CS2. There's so much news flying around at the moment, obviously, about Colossal Order and Paradox's splits, what Iceflake Studios are going to be like coming in and taking over the development of the game. My personal opinion is we don't know anything until we see it. It could be a brilliant move from the game. Fresh brains looking at the development of it, new ideas coming to the table as well. And also the fact that it's entirely owned by Paradox could be a big benefit because they'll have a bit more control over the whole process of the game rather than leaving it to an external developer like Colossal Order. Obviously, I feel very sad for all of the people at Colossal Order and really hope that, you know, they continue on and they have a bright future ahead. But I do think there's a lot of potential for good things to happen from the game from it. Is there any evidence of that happening on previous games out there? Really, no. But that doesn't mean that that can't ever happen with a game. So I'm still hopeful and optimistic. And look, by way of me playing the game and having fun, I'm not being paid to say this. I'm not lying. If I didn't have fun, I wouldn't still be building this on my channel. I really genuinely enjoy this game. Modded, I will say. Slightly less so in the vanilla game, but modded is such a good city painter. It's such a good city builder, and surface level of the management I actually quite enjoy. If you get too deep into it, yes, okay, you get into the weeds and you find lots of problems, but surface level with a bunch of detailing, I personally think it's fantastic. So I'm firmly in the optimistic camp about what is to come in the future, and I really hope Paradox stick to their words that, you know, development will continue on this game and it's not just going to be dropped overnight. Especially seeing these content creator packs coming out and the release of the asset editor tomorrow, which is going to be huge for the game. We're going to get so much new content, an influx of that, which is going to be awesome. I think it's in a pretty good state at the moment, and I'm pretty happy about the game moving forwards into 2026. So anyway, that's all from behind the build for today, and for those of you who aren't members and patrons, this is just a little sneak peek of what they get. If you are interested in supporting the channel more, there are links in the description below for ways you can do that. But that's all from me for now, so thank you so much for tuning in. I'll catch you again next time. Bye bye!